On Wednesday morning, Hudson County View saw West New York parents protesting the fact that elementary-age kids will now have to walk about 12 blocks to school in the 2014-2015 school year. We spoke to a couple of concerned parents on the issue, as well as West New York Superintendent of Schools, John Fountain.
Queremos transporte, queremos transporte, queremos transporte, queremos transporte, queremos transporte, queremos transporte.
And 2 weeks ago, they sent me a letter that they're transferring my kids to St. Joseph's. So I called the Board of Education to see if they were going to provide some transportation for the kids. They said no. I called my daycare to see if they were going to provide some transportation to the kids. They have about 20 kids that are left at the daycare at 7 in the morning, and it's the daycare responsibility to take them in the morning, but they're not servicing that. So I called the mayor's office to find out what solutions they have into this matter, and they said that there's no solution. There's no bus, and that would be it. So that's why I gathered these parents to find out what are we going to do about it and to demand an explanation, to demand a solution for this problem.
I have a 7-year-old. My main concern is for all the kids in the Harry L. Bain School, but she needs transportation. She just had major surgery on her foot, reconstructive surgery. She cannot afford to walk from 64th Street, where we live, in Park Avenue, all the way down to 54th. She's always in pain. So transportation will be crucial for us. It's necessary. You know, not just for us, but for all the kids at the school, where they could be safe. They could leave from home to the school, make it to school safe, and back home.
Mayoral hopeful Carlos Chucky Betancourt supported and marched behind the parents on this issue, telling Hudson County View that the Board of Education has a lot to answer for.
Because there's an obvious disconnect between the administration, the BOE, and its residents. Even if they alerted them in a timely manner, I have issues with pre-K children right up to the 6th grade transporting themselves through major thoroughfares without any type of supervision other than crossing guards. I feel that this is a problem not only for the parents in terms of the safety of their children, and a liability factor for the town.
Fountain told a different story, stating that this change for the upcoming school year was announced to parents back in February. Furthermore, he explained that between the current BOE budget and state statutes, it would be essentially impossible to introduce a new bus route into the school district.
Actually, the decision, John, was made this last February, where we held a meeting at Harry L. Bain, where all the parents were invited. A good number showed up, not everyone, but a good number, plus letters were sent home explaining what was going to take place this coming September. Because Harry L. Bain is under renovation, and we needed to move the children out of that building as a safety factor. The two alternatives were either one, to disperse the children throughout the district, which would to all different schools, but that would have been a nightmare because it would cause overcrowding in all the schools. You're talking about 700-800 students. So the St. Joe's facility, which has been fully renovated, new windows and so forth, we decided to place all the children into St. Joe's for the duration, which is probably going to take about 2 years to renovate Harry L. Bain. First of all, by law, the only students that we're required to transport are special education students. All our buses, plus buses that we rent from the vocational school, provide transportation for our special needs students, not only in district, but we have probably somewhere between 80 or 90 students that go to out-of-district schools, the severely handicapped, plus any students that DYFS placed in foster homes we have to transport. So we really don't have the buses. But that's not the main concern. The concern here is that if I provide transportation for one single non-special education student, then that option has to be made available to all 8,500 students in the West New York School District, either transportation or reimbursement of $850 some odd that go to the parents, the fact that we're transporting non-special ed students. So to do that, I would have to lay off more teachers and maybe cut programs, because you have to understand that once you do it for one person, you have to open it up to anyone.
So, based on what I'm hearing, I mean, it doesn't sound like there's anything possible by the start of the school year. I mean, that seemed fairly obvious, but do you think there's any solution between now and, June that could accommodate these parents that are having an issue here?
I'm going to try to do is, busing is not an option. I mean, because it would be just, we're not required, it's not statute, and it would cost the district too much money. I mean, I'm trying to hire more crossing guards, but I don't hire the crossing guards. The crossing guards are on the town, they have a budget freeze right now. You have to relocate them. We're trying to maybe have an open in the morning where the kids could get dropped off a little bit earlier. I'm planning an open house in the next week or so to show the parents, because once they see that school, it's going to be a big plus.
I'm John Heides with the Hudson County View, the eye of the community.